In this video, you will be introduced to the following modification tools: Group, Mirror, Copy, PEDIT, Fillet, Scale, and Gradient Hatch. The demonstration is conducted in AutoCAD 2025 version. The instructions for this tutorial are provided as command line instructions serving both Mac and AutoCAD PC versions. If you are working along with this tutorial in a class, you will need to download the object modification.dwg file. Open the file provided. We will begin in the upper left-hand compartment. You will see the object geometry for a heart symbol, but it is missing the right side of the heart, which we will mirror. To get started, make sure that the following OSNAP settings are defined and turned on. I think we will need to have the following OSNAP settings checked: Object Snap on, Object Snap Tracking on, Endpoint on, Midpoint checked on, Center checked, Intersection checked, and Perpendicular checked. Pick on the OK button to close the OSNAP settings dialog box. First, notice how the geometry provided is constructed of 3 individual object lines. I can see each object as I hover my mouse over the top of the geometry. I can also grip each object to see the construction, which is made up of a line segment and 2 arcs. It is helpful to group the 3 object lines to make the mirror process easier. To do this, select all 3 objects and then at the command line, type Group. By gripping anywhere on the object, you will be able to see if you've successfully included all 3 objects into the grouped set. Next, type the Mirror command into the command line and then pick on the grouped object set. After selecting the group, pick on the Return Enter key to progress to the next step of the Mirror command. Read the command line. You are asked to specify the first point of the mirror line. AutoCAD is asking you to pick the centralized point of the mirror axis. An axis is typically a vertical or a horizontal plane. In this case, I will pick the endpoint of the arc. As soon as I pick the endpoint, AutoCAD shows me the possible vertical axis for mirroring the objects from the left side to the right side of the pick point. Make sure the Ortho F8 key is toggled on so that you mirror exactly to the right of the pick point. If the Ortho F8 key is toggled off, the mirrored set will appear skewed as you see here. Once you see on the screen the mirror placement that you want, pick with your mouse to finalize the placement. Next, read the command line. AutoCAD gives you the option to delete the original geometry. Since we want to mirror a copy of the left side of the heart, we will choose No at the command line. This ends the mirror command. Group the 2 sides of the heart one last time before proceeding to the next step of the assignment. Pick anywhere on the heart to make sure that both sides are grouped together. Then pick on the Escape key on the keyboard to deselect the shape. Do not forget to conduct a quick save of the file, which is Ctrl-S on a PC and Command-S on a Mac. We will now copy the heart shape from the upper left-hand compartment to the upper right-hand compartment of the drawing area. To do this, type Copy in the command line and then pick on the heart shape. Pick the Return Enter key to progress to the next step in the command. Now read the command line. AutoCAD indicates to you to pick with your mouse a base point. As soon as you pick on the heart, the command line asks you to pick a second point to copy the object to, which is referred to as the displacement point. Pick with your mouse to finalize the copy location and in the command. As a side note, AutoCAD will continue to copy the original object until you pick the Enter key one last time, or the Escape key on the keyboard. Keep in mind that AutoCAD doesn't know how many copies of the heart shape you want in the drawing, so when you're done copying the object, make sure to end the command. The next step is to turn the heart into a polyline. In this instance, we will use the PEDIT command to change the object into a polyline so that we can assign a line thickness to the shape. To do this, at the command line, type PEDIT, all one word, and then pick on the heart shape. Notice when I pick on the heart shape, even though it is grouped within the PEDIT command, AutoCAD identifies one part of the shape at a time. In your file, the entire heart might be selected when you pick on a point. That is a possibility, and that works just fine in this instance as well. Read the command line to determine what to do next. AutoCAD asks you if you want to turn the object into a polyline. Choose Y for yes. Read the command line. Within the square brackets of the polyline command are all of the options of how I could affect the part of the heart in which I just selected. I will choose J for join. I want to join the connecting object lines and arcs to the original object I first selected. This action will convert all of the object lines and arcs into a single polyline definition. If you were lucky enough to convert the entire heart shape into a polyline, then you can skip the steps where you join the individual arcs and lines together. Next, notice how the PEDIT command does not automatically end. This is because there are many options within the command that you might still need to act upon. In this case, we want to choose W for assigning a line width to the polyline shape. I will choose 2 as the new line width thickness. Enter, return key. You should immediately see a change in the object definition. Notice that I can now see at the bottom of the heart shape that the 2 points do not fully connect to each other. We will use the Fillet command to join the 2 points. To do this, at the command line, type Fillet. Choose R for radius. Type 0 as the value. Then pick on the 2 ends of the heart shape. A 0 radius creates a corner without a curve. Setting the radius to any value larger than 0 will make a curved connection between the 2 lying segments. Now that we have completed this task, we need to edit the text to reflect the Fillet command. To edit the text, double-click with your mouse on a word. Then pick with your mouse to position the cursor so that you can edit the text to read copy, comma, PEDIT, and symbol, followed by the word fillet. When you are done editing the text, pick on the return Enter key twice to end the command, and make sure all text is typed in capital letters. All caps is the U.S. National CAD standard for annotating drawings. The next part of this assignment will copy the polyline heart shape from the upper right-hand corner of the rectangle to the lower left-hand compartment. To do this, at the command line, type Copy. Pick on the heart shape. Read the command line. AutoCAD indicates for you to pick with your mouse a base point. Pick anywhere on the heart. Then read the command line. AutoCAD indicates you should pick a displacement point, which is where you want the copy of the heart placed. If the Ortho F8 setting is toggled on, you will only be able to copy in straight configurations. To be able to copy in a diagonal direction, you will need to toggle the Ortho F key off. Once you have picked in the lower left-hand corner of the rectangle, pick the Enter key or the Escape key to end the copy command. We are next going to copy the heart directly on top of itself. This might seem strange, but we want to keep the original outline of the heart and make a scaled copy. Here's how to do it. At the command line, type Copy. Pick on the heart outline. Read the command line. Specify the base point, which I will pick on the point where the two arcs meet. Read the command line. AutoCAD indicates you should specify the displacement point. Pick on the same point as before, where the two arcs meet. Pick the Return Enter key or the Escape key on your keyboard to end the copy command. You now have two heart shapes on top of each other. We will use the Scale command to change the size of the copy. To do this, in the command line, type Scale and pick on the heart shape. When you're done selecting the object you want to scale, pick on the Return Enter key to progress to the next step in the command. Read the command line. AutoCAD indicates you should specify a base point. I will pick somewhere inside the heart. Read the command line. AutoCAD indicates you should type in a scale factor. This could be something like 0.5, which would scale the heart to half its original size. Alternatively, you could scale an object on the fly by eyeing it on the screen to the size you want, which I will demonstrate here. I've already picked a base point, so now I will slowly move the mouse to the right so that I see the copy of the scaled heart appear. As I drag the shape, it becomes larger or smaller depending on the direction that I move the mouse. When you see a smaller version of the original heart, then pick with your mouse on the screen, and this will end the Scale command. We will now begin working in the last compartment of the drawing area. For this next part, we need to deploy the Layer Manager. To do this, at the command line, type LA, Return Enter key. You will see that I set the current layer to A-Object-Geometry. That should be the layer that you've been working on throughout the first part of this assignment. In the next part, we will copy the two hearts from the lower left-hand compartment to the adjacent right-hand bottom compartment. At this point, you should be able to copy the hearts without me providing step-by-step instructions. It is up to you if you want to toggle the Ortho F8 key back on so the hearts copy across in a straight orthographic line. It's time to change the current layer designation. I will show you how to do this task on both a Mac and a PC. First, the Mac demonstration. Locate the pull-down menu at the top of the layers. Do not pick from the list you see here. Instead, locate the pull-down menu from the top of the layer panel. It should currently have, in the layer field, A-Object-Geometry. Pick on this pull-down menu. From the list, change the current layer from A-Object-Geometry to A-Pat. Now let's see how to make this change on a PC, since this part is different on the two AutoCAD platforms. On a PC, locate the Home tab on the ribbon at the top of the drawing environment. Then identify the layer panel. You will see that the current layer is A-Object-Geometry. From the pull-down menu, pick from the list A-Pat. The current layer is now A-Pat. We will want the pattern that we use to fill the heart to be located on a separate layer than the outline of the heart. While we are still in AutoCAD PC, we will employ the hatch command to fill the heart with a colored gradient, as this too is a little different than AutoCAD Mac. To do this, at the command line, type hatch. AutoCAD PC changes to a different screen. You are now in the Hatch dialog screen. From here, locate the Hatch Properties panel. From the pull-down menu that is defaulted to Patterns, pick that drop-down menu, and from the list choose Gradients. You should see the default blue and yellow gradient mix. Change the color assignment from the Hatch Properties panel and pick on the blue color first. Change that to any color that appeals to you. Next, pick on the yellow color. This will change the second color in the gradient mix. Choose any color from the menu of choices that appeals to you. The next step is to select the Pick Point button located at the far left-hand part of the hatch panel band. This will allow us to pick precisely where we want AutoCAD to fill the object with the gradient pattern. Pick the green plus sign here and then go to the heart configuration in the lower right-hand compartment of the drawing environment. You can pick inside the small heart, or you can choose to pick the larger heart with the gradient pattern. The choice is yours. The only requirement is that you change the original blue and yellow gradient mix to a two-color mix that you like and which is different from the original. Try changing the gradient direction from 0 degrees to 90 degrees to see how the pattern changes. And once you've placed the gradient, to finalize the command, pick on the green check mark on the far right-hand corner of the hatch dialog to end the command. Now let's compare how to use the hatch command if you're working in AutoCAD Mac. I am now working in AutoCAD Mac. At the command line, type hatch, return key on the keyboard. The Hatch command panel in Mac is now deployed at the top of the drawing environment. From the pattern icon pull-down menu, select Gradient. You should see the default blue and yellow colors and a gradient mix on the Hatch dialog band. From here, we can change the first color choice by picking on the adjacent blue square. This will show you a pull-down menu of color options. Choose a color that appeals to you that is different from the original blue color. Next, to change the second color in the gradient mix, pick on the yellow square. This will show you the pull-down menu of color options. Choose a color that appeals to you that is different from the original yellow color. Try changing the gradient direction from 0 to 90 degrees to see how the pattern changes. You can pick the inside of the small heart or the larger heart to fill with the gradient pattern. The choice is yours. You can choose from a wider range of colors as well. Pick on the first or the second color square to change the color option. From the pull-down menu, pick Select Color. To reselect the gradient area, choose the button on the gradient hatch band entitled Pick Points. This will allow you to pick precisely where you want AutoCAD to fill the object with the gradient pattern. Pick on the return key on the keyboard to keep the gradient choice and end the command. We have now completed the drafting portion of this exercise and will move on to set up the paper space sheet to finalize the submission. In this part of the video, we will set up the sheet and scale the model. To do this, pick on the tab located in the lower left-hand corner of the drawing screen entitled D-Size Layout. You are now in Paperspace and looking at a blank 24 by 36 landscape sheet referred to as the D-Size sheet. From the layer choices, change the current layer to Def Points. By definition, Def Points is a non-plotting layer. This is the layer that we will use for the viewport. To create the viewport window, type in the command line Multi-View or the abbreviation MV. Return Enter key. Pick in the upper left-hand corner of the sheet inside the dashed lines. After picking the first point, let go of the mouse button and drag out the viewport rectangle to the opposite corner of the sheet, as you see me do here. You should now see the model fill the viewport window. Grip the viewport window to see the drawing scale list located in the bottom right-hand corner of the drawing screen. From the pull-down menu, choose 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. You should see a change in the scale of the model space drawing. Make sure that both scale symbols left adjacent to the architectural list are toggled on. We are now ready to set up the PDF print. Locate the printer icon at the top of the drawing screen or type in the command line plot. Alternatively, on a PC you can type the keyboard strokes Control-P, and on a Mac the keyboard command strokes are Command-P. All of these options will deploy the plotter dialog box. From here, choose the printer option for DWG to PDF.PC3. Paper size should already be set up for you in this assignment as Arch D, 36 by 24, landscape. What to print should remain as layout. Scale should be set 1:1, meaning 1:1. Since we already scaled the viewport window, do not change this value. Plot style or plot assignment should already be set to monochrome.ctb. Choose the button Apply to Layout, and then the Preview button. If your PDF print looks similar to this option, then go back to the Plot dialog box and pick on the Plot button. Save the PDF file as your last name _object.pdf.